East Egg is where the people with the old money live. These people have lived in wealth for generations. The people there always dress fancy, as if it were a common thing to host or go to a party every day, and do many different activities that middle and lower class citizens could not do, such as eating out for every meal, or playing sports or flying planes. These activities are reserved for the privileged. What happens in East Egg is similar to West Egg, but they use their wealth very different in the sense that it's always been theirs, not like the people in West Egg, where they have recently acquired their new fortune and new money. The women there wear very expensive jewelry and extremely flashy clothes. These men are very pompous, which is expected considering that they are at the top of the social ladder. They're more snobby, greedy, and mean than people from West Egg, as those from East Egg are generally less sophisticated and a more innocent type of people, as they haven't been consumed by material possessions, money, and greed their whole lives. The Buchans, for example, are a family of East Egg, which Tom Buchan was born of a very wealthy family, and the greedy Daisy who married into this money. They have a very large mansion for a home and are of a somewhat of a stuck-up family. East Egg is portrayed as corrupt in the novel and is more or less compared to the more humble West Egg. One of the East Eggers asked, what do people plan? For many who live there, they plan nothing but prefer lying on that sofa as long as they can remember. They also have an air of superficiality about them, such as Jordan, who is incurably dishonest, and Daisy wrote, "Voice is full of money."
The Valley of Ashes in Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby symbolizes complete hopelessness. This place is in between West Egg and the city, and the people who live here are completely impoverished. As Fitzgerald wrote, "This is a valley of ashes, a fantastic farm where ashes grow like wheat into ridges and hills and grotesque gardens, where ashes take the forms of houses and chimneys and rising smoke, and finally with a transcendent effort of ash-gray men who move dimly and already crumbling through the powdery air. The destituteness of this place is why Myrtle loves being with Tom. When she is with him, she can leave her life in the underprivileged Valley of Ashes and spend a little time with complete wealth in East Egg." We see towards the end of the book, when Nick starts talking about the American dream, that the Valley of Ashes can also symbolize the rotting American dream, because while some people are living in utter wealth with fancy clothes and nice parties, others are living with little to nothing and struggling to put food on the table. In Gatsby's younger years, his father told him, "Whenever you feel like criticizing anyone, just remember that all the people in this world haven't had the advantages that you've had. The citizens of the Valley of Ashes are exactly the people who will never have the advantages that Nick had."
The city seen from the Queensboro Bridge is always a city seen for the first time in its first wild promise of all the mystery and beauty in the world. Throughout this novel, the magnificent and flamboyant New York City is a perfect display of the 1920s era. The people of New York City embraced the prosperous, roaring 20s caused by post-World War I prosperity. It involved copious amounts of illegal alcohol, music, partying, fashion, gangs, and commerce. Those who live in the city will feel compelled to join the culture scene, even at a Midwesterner such as Nick Carraway, as he takes in the glory of the city. I began to like New York City, the racy, adventurous feel of it at night, and the satisfaction that the constant flicker of men and women and machines give to the restless eye. It is an irresistible sensation to be enveloped within the scandalous yet beautiful city. Its glamour is filled with promises of youth and happiness, of which Gatsby yearns. The city symbolized not only the 1920s, but also Gatsby's nostalgia of the past. As Gatsby throws his parties at home, the city bustles with celebration, flappers, booze, and romance. It's impossible not to succumb to the dance.
Nick Carraway is the narrator, and he lived at West Egg, the, well, less fashionable of the two, though this is the most superficial tag to express the bizarre and not only a little sinister contrast between them. West Egg represents new money, young people with money, and East Egg is people born with money. In contrast to East Egg, it is also a land of honest people, although not necessarily honest in the sense of lying. The honesty they possessed is more to themselves and to their hopes and dreams. After all, West Egg is a land of dreamers, such as Gatsby himself. The people and the money in West Egg is considered to be less fashionable, as to be compared to East Egg, where the people are born with money, and ergo have lived with their money their entire life. The people of West Egg live quite lavishly and represent a more active lifestyle, and Nick, an inhabitant of West Egg, sees himself as a guide, a pathfinder. Also, many of them are looked down upon because they spend lots of money they earn, and most of the people on East Egg think that their money was acquired through smuggling alcohol or other illegal means.